Hello, 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 hello. Hello, and welcome to this very, very warm Marvel Multiverse role-playing game stream. I've turned my camera off because it's so very, very hot, and I didn't want to be on camera. I got a very cool towel around my neck with cold water in it, trying to stay cool. Make sure you're doing the same, especially if you're in the UK and in the middle of the worst heat ever. Today has broken the record several times as the hottest day of the ever since records began. So yeah, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, taking precautions to stay cool, and we will move on by saying I am John, and I am joined by Brian. I was joined by Brian.
Hello. I was just showing us out on my Twitter account, and and Alex is actually sitting in front of my laptop. So
We are joined by Robin. And we are joined by Richard.
Hello.
And we are here to continue the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game that we started last week. As I said last week, this is the beta test. This is the playtest rules. Things aren't necessarily as finished and polished as a finalized game will be when it comes out next year. But we're gonna try and go with what we have for now. Last week we met a trio of new superheroes starting out to join a team of Avengers, currently under the working name of the Unity Squad. That team is Shadow Strike, the Immovable Pebble, and Ivar, the Asgardian god. No sooner had they met with Okoye of the Agents of Wakanda than a situation developed at the Howard and Maria Stark Laboratory, Memorial Laboratory, where Hydra had apparently taken a number of scientists hostage. Through the swift action of Shadow Strike being able to climb to the top floor of the building, and the Immovable Pebble and Ivar's distraction on the ground floor, the group was very quickly able to ascertain that a mere 2 scientists were being threatened, and the Hydra operatives were very quickly dispatched. The group collected back together again as the roof of the building exploded, and a trio of villainous duplicates of our heroes descended into the room and started to attack. Primarily focusing on Shadow Strike, as he was the only one in the room at the time, he managed to hold his own until the rest of the group caught up, and they dispatched themselves, who very quickly melted into a thick red soupy fluid that just sort of drained into the ground. And standing around slightly dazed and confused, we find our heroes still in the very top floor of the Howard and Maria Stark Memorial Lab as they ponder what they are going to do next. So, group, what are you thinking?
Well, it was a bit odd for a start, wasn't it?
Pebble's gonna jump up onto the roof, just like where it's been ripped open, to try and see if there's anyone else around.
Okay. Just straight leap, or are we gonna climb, or...
I'm gonna climb, I think.
Gonna climb. Could I get, and I need to remind myself what the stat is for this. I'm gonna say that's a might check to sort of haul yourself up.
Yeah, and it's the total action modifier.
Total action modifier, yes. Target number is going to be about a 15. It's not too difficult. Well, it's not too difficult, and you just make it. And I need to move to a camera that can actually see that. One moment. I don't have a button for that. I have a button for this. There we go. So yes, you, with a little bit of effort, you haul yourself up, and you take a look round and roll me a. Let's go with a vigilance roll and just no target number. Just see what we get.
Or should I just put in target number 0?
Yeah. Okay. You look out and there's a lot of in the immediate vicinity there is a lot of activity, as there are the police and the lights flashing, the spotlights and all the standard sort of activity you would expect from an active or very recently active hostage situation, that is making it a little bit hard to see beyond that right now. And then something does catch your eye. A bright colour moves just on the very edge of your vision. A bright blue and red blur just sort of swings past.
Can I see anything else of it, or is that literally it?
A few seconds after this, there's another as two figures land on the roof behind you. And you turn and face, and one of them is wearing a black and red webbed design outfit with a spider on the front and large white eyes. The other is much more recognizably Spider-Man. These are both Spider-Men. It's difficult to work out what to call them in plural. These are Spider-Mans. They sort of take you in and look down at the smoking hole and see down inside it and see Shadow Strike and Ivar inside the room. And the smaller black outfitted Spider-Man turns to the other one and says, "Hey, Spider-Man, these guys look like the guys we're chasing, but they're not attacking us."
Yes, we took care of the ones that would erupted us. And I jumped down to join the rest.
I'm just going to bring some tokens onto the map. They both...
Oh, okay. For a minute I was thinking Agent Venom.
They both nimbly leap down into the room, and probably at least one of them does some fancy flips as he comes down.
And I'll look at Pebble and just say, are these the real ones? Are these clones? Do we need to be fighting these people or what?
Well, they haven't attacked us yet, so I assume they're not clones. Or, as you say.
Be you friend or foe? Are you real or are you those knockoffs?
The one in the red and the blue just kind of puts a hand to his face and goes, "It's not clones again, is it?"
Seems to be.
Seems so.
We were attacked by versions of us, and we killed them. And I'm going to point at the various piles of goo.
Ah, not very good clones. Excellent. Uh,
I still hit quite hard.
well, you dealt with the threat. We were chasing. They'd just robbed a bank, and we were chasing them. It seems they may have been trying to besmirch your good names, or raise some funds for somebody, or both. I see a lot of both, says Spider-Man.
Well, there was a lot of police here who could have seen what we were doing, so I think in the long run, it would have been realised there was something odd going on. But so you've dealt with clones before?
Yeah, too many times. And the other Spider-Man just nods. And, yeah, more recently, Madman tried to clone me to assess my powers. He was called the Assessor. It was weird.
To the director? I think that was the right name for the DM in this one.
Narrator, but
Narrator.
I'll take
I'm thinking
director.
so.
Either way works.
Narrator. When the roof collapsed, there was a vehicle they came out of, right?
No, they were just kind of stood around the circle.
Ah.
You don't fully know how they got up there.
Well, should we take a sample of this stuff to try and see if we can work out where they came from?
Well, we're in the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. That's going to be the way we differentiate them. The Amazing Spider-Man looks around. We're in a lab, and starts pulling out some of the lab equipment, and starts taking samples of the goop.
Think we can do this here, or would we take it somewhere else?
He looks around and yeah, there's not really the right equipment here. We'll get the samples. You've got a way of. I mean, we've got a way of getting around. Have you guys got a? Can you fly or leap or drive?
We have a vehicle.
We'll meet you at the Baxter building.
I'll meet you there.
Spider-Man clips the samples he takes to a belt and just tosses you a fourth sample. Just in case something happens to these ones, never put all your eggs in one basket.
Good idea.
And he and the other Spider-Man leap back up onto the rooftop. If you get there first, just tell Herbie that tell Herbie to get the matchstick to let you in.
I'm assuming we're familiar with this Baxter building.
You would know where the Baxter building is. It's one of the big skyscrapers in New York and home of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Ah.
Definitely not related to the TMNT's villain Baxter Stockman.
No, but there are plenty of other Marvel connections for the TMNT.
Well, it sounds like a race to me. See if we can beat Spider's man. To the Baxter building.
That's a different superhero. We'll cover that later.
Race, you say, and Pebble rushes off.
Yeah, I suppose we'll head down to our vehicle.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's police officers coming in and like, taking away Hydra agents or like.
Yeah, all of the unconscious Hydra agents
Oh.
are being processed. Those that are still in enough pieces to be processed. I think there are still at least 2 or 3 of them that didn't expire.
But I think I was the only one who was explicitly killing them.
I think you and the Pebble got 1 each. Okay. How are we going to do a race? Okay. Whom amongst you is driving? It's going to require agility to maneuver through the streets.
I'm suspecting I might have the highest agility.
Let's compare.
Yeah. I've got a 6 in ability score for agility.
Okay, which side am I looking at again? Left side or right?
If you if you want to compare total action modifier numbers.
Oh, total action.
I've got
That's 10.
Yeah, I've got a 10.
Well, could be either of us. I'm happy if you want to give it a go.
Sure. Wait, did we all give our agility? Or?
Mine's only 8.
Oh.
So
You can have this one, Richard.
Oh, very well.
You all race down to the Quinn car.
Yeah.
Strap in and press down on the accelerator. The tires spin and shoot off through the streets of New York City.
It's very important I put my mixtape in when I get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's on Shadow
Pebble's
Strike's
just got her
mixtape?
head outside of the window.
So what was that, narrator?
What is on Shadow Strike's mixtape?
Oh, it's the first song is Bell Bottoms by the John Spencer Blues Explosion.
Okay.
Which is the song used at the beginning of Baby Driver. If anyone's familiar with that film.
As the music starts blaring through the car, you feel in the zone and you start accelerating past the normal street speeds and start weaving through traffic at breakneck speeds. Could I get a agility check? Target number is 20.
This is where I click on the total action modifier.
Yes.
Target number 20.
Oh wow. You make it look easy. You just weave through traffic. You perfectly time pulling the handbrake to get extra skid into the turns.
Yeah.
Slowing down, speeding up at exactly the right points in the turn so that the turn is made perfectly. And at one point, you see the swinging forms of Amazing Spider-Man and the other Spider-Man without superlatives swinging overhead. And you appear to be going a bit faster than they are at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just quickly do a competitive modifier check. How do I? I guess I can just give my bad guy token a really high score for a minute. Oh no, it is a... You speed through the streets and you can see them overhead, and you are neck and neck at this point, and they are like swinging and running across rooftops, swinging through buildings, doing all of the really fancy spider swinging stuff that you see in the films.
Can I wind the window down and shout out in a poorly disguised voice, "Spider-Man, help me!"
Give me an ego check to see if you can convincingly call out.
Yeah. And what's the number that beat the?
Gonna say the target number is 20 again. It's quite difficult. There's a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot.
a lot going on right now. You shout out, but you don't know whether it's they're too focused on what they're doing, or there's just too much happening at the moment with the street racing past. The voice may have just got lost in the general hubbub of New York City streets. You sadly don't distract the Spider-Men. And can I get another agility check? This time it is, yeah, this is still a target number of 20 at the moment. Ooh, close. You start to weave through some of the busiest streets as you're getting into sort of the area around Times Square, and people watch as you go past, and some of the people that are maybe new to the area or tourists don't recognize the vehicle, but those that do sort of stop, take it, make sure they give it a wide berth, but also nod to it as it goes past, because people know what a Quinn car, people who know what a Quinn car is, know who is in it, and that it's going to be a group of Avengers going somewhere. So
I will hit the brakes very briefly to give people a photo opportunity.
You slide to a slightly slower speed to go past some of the sights of Times Square, and there's posters in the background of many of the superheroes who are either promoting a product or promoting an upcoming Marvel films based on these characters. Yes, they even happen in the Marvel universe. Everybody's really wondering if Benedict Cumberbatch can really pull off a good Doctor Strange when Doctor Strange has to watch it. But with the photo op taken, the tires spin again and you shoot off through the streets. And can we get one more agility check? This, I'm gonna roll a number and we're gonna see if you can beat that number.
Okay.
And that number is gonna be 25.
So I got 22.
Okay. But you had a Marvel number.
Oh. Is that where I can re-roll one?
No, that means that you get a little bit of a bonus to it.
Ah.
So you screech to a halt in front of the large and imposing Baxter building, and you look up and see the large number 4 on the side of the building. And as you all sort of pile out of the Quinn car, quick release harnesses dropping off, and you run into the building. And just as you cross the entrance, the Spider-Men land on the outside of the building and have apparently decided to come in the front door. And they're you've all arrived at more or less the same time, but you were first.
I'm certain claiming it as a victory.
They beat you.
And as you enter, there's a couple of people sort of milling around in the entranceway. The lower levels of the Baxter building are standard offices and a museum to the Fantastic Four. And as you come in, the groups, the people milling around sort of see the Spider-Men coming in with you and see the three of you in, let's face it, not normal attire. And just sort of give an applaud and assume that you're here for heroic purposes. And you're ushered over towards an elevator. And as you approach the elevator, an old man in a blue suit with the blue cap of a postman, bag of post over one shoulder, comes up and hands you some letters and says, tell them they're from Willie Lumpkin, and walks off.
That mean anything to anyone?
Yeah, out of character, I'm familiar because I haven't read anything Fantastic Four related, but I do have the films, and obviously I remember Willie as the postman played by Stan Lee.
Yeah, Willie Lumpkin is the long-running postman of the Fantastic Four, and was one of the few times that Stan Lee took a cameo as a named Marvel character rather than just Stan.
Yeah.
And you've basically been handed a few letters marked, Mr. Fantastic, and a few to the Future Foundation. And you get into the elevator, and Spider-Man sort of covers the wall of buttons for a minute and seems to press several of them one after the other in quick succession, but you can't see around to see what he's pressing. And a soothing elevator voice proclaims, "Welcome, Spider-Man. Access granted." And the lift starts to go upwards. Spider-Man.
Is there any is there any elevator music?
There is calming elevator music, yes.
For a moment, I was expecting one of the Fantastic Four's theme songs from.
Yes, it's like a Muzak version of one of the Fantastic Four theme tunes from the films.
Pebbles just impatiently kind of striding around the what little spaces in the lift.
Spider-Man sort of looks over and just like, yeah, they owe me a favor or two. I've babysat for them once or twice, and you know how it is.
Fantastic Four, owe you a favor.
Yeah, I mean, we're longtime friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fine. They'll be able to. Mr. Fantastic will be able to sort this out, no problem.
What if he can't?
I mean, if he can't, nobody can. He's well, one of the smartest minds on the planet. Definitely top 5. Really should check that ranking again.
Yeah. Who does that ranking?
I don't actually know. I think there's a test. Was Amadeus Cho for a while? He was the smartest guy on the planet for a bit. I think he did a quiz show. I guess we should look into that. Huh. The music continues, the lift continues upwards.
Can no one stop that bloody annoying music?
The voice of the lift just... No.
Who said that?
I am Herbie. Humanoid experimental robot B-type integrated electronics. I control the lift. And I like the music.
Oh, we nearly finished this lift journey.
The doors slide open. And you step into what looks, at first glance, to be a pretty ordinary family room.
I'm going to say the Pebbles giving rude hand gestures towards the lift as she leaves.
So where are the Fantastic Four?
They'll be around, I'm sure. And Spider-Man just sort of looks up at the top of the lift, like the number bar over the lift. And, hey Herbie, where are they? The Fantastic Four are currently in Mr. Fantastic's lab. I have paged them to let them know that you are here. And a bookcase just kind of slides open and reveals behind what appears to be a perfectly ordinary bookcase in a perfectly ordinary family house on who God knows which floor of this skyscraper that you've got to, quite high from the length of lift ride. A massive laboratory, everything made of shining metal with catwalks overhead, large bits of scientific equipment buzzing and arcs of lightning just across different different surfaces, vials and phials and beakers and various different glassware just bubbling away with different chemicals. And an arm just kind of stretches out towards Spider-Man, and Spider-Man holds up the vial of the red goop. The hand grabs it and it goes back into the lab. And you just hear a voice from somewhere in the lab just shout out, "Come in."
Yeah, walk in.
Ivor just walks in and takes a look around.
It's quite impressive for Midgard, Ivor. It's not quite the golden city of Asgard, but it's impressive.
As we're walking through, can Pebble just press a random button on one of the computer panels?
Yep. Roll. Just roll me a random number. Roll me 3d6. Okay.
That's a 10.
You're literally just pressing any old button at random.
Yep, maybe a few sequences.
Okay.
Just to see what happens.
The first button you reach out and press, you see a large centrifuge just start spinning faster and faster, and it's just starts giving off some sparks as it starts spinning faster and faster, and the colours blur together, and then there's a loud as a spark explodes out of it, and it starts slowing down and comes to a stop, and the lights on the front of the device just go black, and some smoke just starts pouring up.
Let's do it again. Press another button.
On the same device or on a different device?
On a different one.
Okay.
Try and grab the hand as they come.
I think that would be an opposed agility check. So both roll agility. Whoever rolls the highest can either stop the button press or the button press occurs. Okay. Shadow Strike, you reach out to stop Pebble from pressing a button, but as you do so, you sort of stumble slightly off of balance, which is unusual for you because you're usually fairly composed. And the combination of you being slightly off balance and the movement from the pebble makes it look like you are the one that is pressing the button on this device, not them. And this device just lights up, and it's this weird sort of miniature archway. It's about 30-40 centimeters across by 30 to 40 centimeters high. It's a roughly circular shape on the desk, and a little ball of light just appears in the center of it, and lightning starts arcing out from this ball of light to the edges, and the ball of light just continues to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. and there's a ripple as it expands completely to fill the interior of this ark, and there's a shimmering water-like substance over this quite large shape.
I tried calling out for a responsible adult, but making it very clear it was Pebble who did this.
And there's a couple of arcs of energy off of this device, and the arcs just kind of crackle into the tabletop, and you can hear a screeching sound on the other side of this wibble, and just a large egg shape lurches through the archway, rolls, hits the ground, the arch sparks again, and the glowing and this egg shape sort of rolls and rolls to the edge of the table and falls off the table.
Pebble's gonna try and catch it.
Roll me an agility check. Difficulty number is 20. Sorry, target number is 20. Not a problem. You are ready for this. You reach out with one hand, grab it, and you have a large egg. It's a rough surface. You're not sure what's inside it, but you have a big egg.
I'm going to put it in my pocket.
You can note that on a character sheet if you wish. There's a sort of stretching sound like a rubber band being pulled past its tension point, and on a very elongated neck, the head of a man with brown hair and greying slightly at the temples, lab glasses with many magnifying glasses on his face, lab goggles with many magnifying glasses in front of them, stretches over, and if you're quite done playing with my equipment, we might have some results for you very soon. And the head stretches away as if the rubber band is snapping back.
I don't know, Shadow Strike. Playing with all his equipment. Tut tut.
I'm just gonna shrug, but I'm remembering that that happened.
Shadow Strike will remember this. You and the Spider-Men head over and finally find your way to where most of Mr. Fantastic is, working away at some lab equipment, aided by a number of small robots that sort of hover around, arms, legs, head, but no feet. The robot's not Mr. Fantastic, he has all appendages. And he is also being aided by his daughter, a 8-year-old girl with blonde hair. And they're looking at the goop that was left over and running several different very complex scientific experiments on it. And Mr. Fantastic first turns to Spider-Man and says, well, you'll both be happy to hear that it is neither the Jackal nor the Assessor who has made these clones. And even through their masks you can see a sort of relief from both of the Spider-Men. Big eyes are very emotive. But it does look like there was some tech here from one of your old adversaries, Spider-Man. He kind of reaches over his head to whisper in Spider-Man's ear. If you wish to, you can make a vigilance check, target number 25, to try and hear what is being said.
Oh wait, that didn't go through. Oh wait. Still getting used to this, but gotta put in the target number.
You all struggle to hear, but you can't make out what is being said. And Mr. Fantastic nods as his head sort of returns to a more normal position to the torso. It looks like the technology here was similar to that being used by the Beyond Corporation. They were causing some trouble for Spider-Man recently. They purchased the name of Spider-Man and started to have a corporate in-house superhero service. But at the same time, their corporate in-house supervillain making service made some clones of Spider-Man's foes and used them and spliced them together as well in an attempt to try and make the ultimate supervillain. I guess there's something to be said for having a monopoly on the market. And Valencia, the little girl, looks over the top of a clipboard. There's a lab that you should check out. It's one of the old Beyond Corporation laboratories where they were working on the supervillains out near Coney Island. If our test results are accurate, and they should be, the technology that was used to make these clones of you was being stored there. If it's still there, you might have some idea of who did this, because they'll likely be there as well. If it's not still there, you might be able to track it to where it is now. And she holds out the piece of the top piece of paper from the clipboard to the three of you.
I'll just grab that. Are you Spider Men coming, or is this going to be left to us?
We've got other things that we need to take care of, I'm afraid. This is going to be left to you guys. But you seem capable of looking after yourselves.
Well, should we head there straight away and see what we can find?
Mm-hmm. Let us be on our way.
And with
We
that,
taking the...
you head back down in the lift and take head back out to the Quinn car. The lift.
I was going to say, as we're going back down the lift, Pedal's arguing again with the computer.
The lift plays the same music again, and when it gets to the end of the music, it starts playing the same track again. And the lift argues with Pebble about how good the track is. And you get into the Quinn car.
In a very bad mood.
You get into the Quinn car, and what's the next track on Shadow Strike's playlist?
Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Okay. Good choice. As it kicks in, you head towards Coney Island, and I'm going to say that that's pretty much where I had planned to get to this evening.
Okay.
So, if it's alright with everybody, I'm going to say that let's wrap it up here. Keep cool and keep hydrated.
Yep.
Yep.
And we'll see you again next week for the continuation of this as the group head to the old Beyond Corporation Supervillain Research Laboratory.
It'll be uneventful and
Yeah, it's nothing.
very
Nothing's
straightforward.
There. Everything's going to be really straightforward there. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing at all.
I'm also trying to work out them. I'm trying to work out how to do ranking up in this game. Because I think it would be interesting to sort of rank you up a level or two, because it does say that in theory you could, if you were starting at a lower level and getting to a higher level, you can rank up, but it doesn't actually talk about how. So possibly next time you'll see slightly stronger Immovable Pebble, Ivar and Shadow Strike. Possibly next time you'll see the same strength of these characters, if I can't work out a good way to level everybody up.
Before we say goodbye and all that, I'd just like to say I put the names of our characters through Google Translate. May I read them out for a bit of a chuckle?
Before you do that, we're going to say that you also put Clone Saga through Google Translate earlier, and it came out as this is an epic clown. So Brian, what are the hero names of the storyline This Is an Epic Clown?
Okay, so Ivar told them. Shadow Strike got The Shadow is the Shadow.
Better name. I'm gonna change it.
And Immovable Pebble got It's Snowing.
It does sound like those clones went horribly wrong. I'm the Immovable Pebble. I am It Is Snowing. So yeah, that's what we've got for this week. We'll be back next week as this group hurdles towards a confrontation at the old supervillain lab. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, please do hit that follow button. It's a great way for you guys to know when we go live, a completely free way that you can support us on the channel. We have the following things coming up. Tomorrow night, we're going to possibly look at doing some Borderlands or some Astroneer or some something. It depends on how hot the temperature is and how hot everybody's computers are running, because I know that we've had some issues with that. And also if we can get some people who have just bought Stray off of Stray. So tune in to find out if we do manage all of those things. On Thursday, on the Angel Games Player channel, Angel is hopefully going to be playing some more Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And then on Sunday, well, actually on Friday, Jeff will be playing some AI Somnium JRPG point-and-click thing. On Sunday, the Rime of the Frost Maiden group are back in the blessed, frigid north of the Sword Coast, which right now seems a very good place to be.
Yep. Looking forward to that. Being cold.
We'll continue the group's quest through the Cauldron Caves as they attempt to find the 4 missing fishermen. And then head on to Caer Konig. Because they can just bypass Caer Dinevel by boat. And then Monday next week, I'll be back on the Minecraft Mondays servers. Hopefully we'll be back on the Minecraft Monday servers with Chris as we continue to make paintballs. And, well, we have to fight a wither. We didn't want to do that in the heat yesterday because computers, and we weren't feeling great for it either. And then we'll be back next Tuesday with more of this. Tune in for all of that and more if you hit that follow button, etc. But for now, we're going to do a raid, and we're going to go and drink some water and do other things to cool down.
Eat pudding.
Eat pudding. We're going to do a raid into Unifade Walker, who is currently just chatting. So go give Uni some love. We'll see you guys again real soon. For now, so long. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.